Hey everybody, Karen from Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So we are going to look at Alligator Alcatraz. I don't know, does everyone know that it's being ordered to close down now? Love always wins. So we're going to look at the details around this situation. Okay, so Alligator Alcatraz and the Miccosukee tribe lawsuit. Okay, so I've got a bunch of facts for us to learn a little bit more about the situation, and including how much the federal government spent on this project and how much it's going to cost them to take it down. And then we've got 30 questions for the spirit guides. And so we'll find out really what is behind all of it. Okay, so let's get started. If you're new to the channel, there will be at the end of this video a pop-up playlist called Start Here, and that would be a great place for you to start if you're wondering what I'm doing with these dowsing rods, who I'm talking to, all that kind of stuff. Okay, otherwise, if you're a returning person, community member, thank you so much for being here. If you could give this video a like, that would be very much appreciated. So thank you for being here. Okay, so Alligator Alcatraz and the Miccosukee. I practiced this. Oh my gosh. Okay. Miccosukee. It's Miccosukee. Okay, Miccosukee. Say it with me. Miccosukee tribe. Okay. I'm just going to make sure I'm saying that right because it comes up a couple times. Let's just make sure here. Let's see. Ready?
Miccosukee.
Could you hear that? So Miccosukee.
Miccosukee.
Miccosukee. I'm just going to say Miccosukee because that's easier for my brain. Okay, so Alligator Alcatraz, the South Florida detention facility, was built in July 2025. That was like a month ago, month and a half, 2 months maybe, in the Everglades without environmental review. So let's just pause there for a minute. The Miccosukee tribe, whose sacred land is nearby, joined environmental groups in the lawsuit. Federal courts have now halted expansion and ordered dismantling. This case tests tribal sovereignty, environmental law, taxpayers' costs, and the spiritual balance of the Everglades. Just a reminder, this is entertainment purposes only. It's based on available facts and reliable resources, this information, and claims, events, statements are alleged unless confirmed by official records, okay? Okay, so the facts. Let's just review a quick list of the facts, okay? It was opened July 3rd, 2025 near Miccosukee land, built without required environmental review. Tribe plus environmental groups sued under NEPA, Endangered Species Act, and Cultural Heritage Laws. August 7, 2025, judge ordered a 14-day halt to construction. See, these are things we don't really get to hear about. We just hear they're creating something, and then it feels very scary. And we don't really get to hear more beyond that and all the background information, which is why I want to start doing these videos like this. One, because it's helping me keep things in perspective. It's teaching me more than I would know otherwise, okay? And I'm hoping it's doing the same for you. Plus, we're bringing the spiritual aspect in, and we're going to ask the guides, okay? All right, so August 21st, 2025, there was a court injunction. No new detainees allowed. That was on August 21st. Expansion stopped. Dismantle fences, lights, sewage, and waste systems within 60 days, which is incredible because on August 7th, there was a halt. Oh, there was a 14-day halt on construction. So 2 weeks later, that 14 days was over. So now they're not allowed. It's permanent so far. Okay. So the deadline is October 20th. Appeals have been denied so far. So the federal government has tried to appeal that. It has been denied. Separate lawsuits challenge detainee conditions and lack of legal access. Lack of legal access. What the F? Right? If we were following the Constitution and not afraid of, if there really wasn't, someone trying to be a dictator or being fascist, we wouldn't have that issue, right? So people who try to deny that that's what Trump is doing is ridiculous, 80% of the Miccosukee homes, schools, and villages sit within a few miles of the site. So no regard for their sovereignty, for their rights. So, for, even just the Everglades themselves environmentally, Okay, okay, I'm a little biased. I guess I have a little attitude. Well, I'm reading the facts and I have an attitude about the facts. So I have a right to have an attitude about the facts. Okay, so financial overview. All right, I asked for this because I thought it would be interesting. So the total federal and state costs, so the initial contracts was $245 million. Operating annual cost was to be $450 million. Court-ordered dismantling will cost $15 to $20 million. Total estimates is $710 to $715 million so far. So I like to ask, I've been asking for this specifically in any other of the video scripts that I'm going to run for you, and we're, with the questions for the SGs and stuff, is I want to know how much it costs per citizen, because and even though it's a small amount, it still costs all of us money, okay? So the U.S. population is 335 million. Each American paid about $2.12 to $2.14 towards Alligator Alcatraz. Okay, so who profited? IRG, Global Emergency Management, is a contractor tied to GOP donations. They received $5 to $6 million in state contracts. They actually had donated $10,000 to the GOP, and in turn, they got a $5 to $6 million state contract to do this. Other private contractors gained millions, though, through rush emergency contracts. So they probably did some kind of like, this is national emergency, which is not true. And they're using that like national security, national emergency to rush things through so they don't have to go through the proper channels. That's my understanding. So I could be wrong on that, but that's just my understanding from what I've learned so far. So net results, taxpayers lost, contractors gained. Okay. All right. And I just want to mention too, when I do these, there may be angles of things that I'm missing, okay? And I'm trying to catch all the angles. If I'm missing something, just kindly put it in the comments. That would be amazing, because then other people could read additional facts or additional thoughts about it. But just keep in mind, like, I'm doing my best to kind of keep things as well-rounded as possible. But, I'm only coming from my own perspective, so I might miss some stuff, okay? Okay, so key takeaways. Court victory, facility dismantling order, deadline October 20th. Taxpayers bill, $710 million spent, about $2.12 for each citizen. Profiteers, private companies, contractors like IRG, Global, netted millions, even though now they get paid to take it down too. So is that, that would be an interesting question for the spirit guides. Was that the whole intention in the first place, is just to get money to these contractors, funnel money? I don't know. Well, we could ask. I'll have to try to remember. Okay. Tribal power, Miccosukee lawsuit proved decisive. Whoop, whoop. Love wins. That's me. Environmental law, case may reshape emergency powers and review laws. Amazing. So this case may reshape emergency powers because they're abusing that. They have been. Civil rights, separate lawsuits highlight detainee conditions and rights, and spiritual undercurrent, land and sovereignty tied to a deeper awakening. Okay? Okay, so let's find out. I've got a few categories. The first category, we've got 30 questions. yes and no questions for the spirit guides. I'll say the prayer first and then we'll find out what they want to tell us, okay? The lead team collective. So I've got a section called skepticism. So let's just review like things that people have been skeptical about regarding Alligator Alcatraz, facts versus fear, deeper truth, and then spiritual awareness, okay? All right, so let's get started. Might have to back you up a little bit. Okay, so I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey, you guys. I haven't talked to them today. So thank you to my team for all your guidance and support and love. Really appreciate it. Thank you to the lead team collective, which includes all of our spirit teams in the community. With or without your permission, some have been joining without, I've heard, and some are waiting for your permission to join. So if you want to just have your spirit team be a part of this conversation with the lead team collective, then just give them a little nudge to do that. Okay? All right, so lead team, thank you, thank you. Are you comfortable with this conversation and our knowing of the details regarding Alligator Alcatraz? Yes, okay. Is there anything in any of the questions in front of me that you would not, that is not in our best interest to know about? No, okay. Well, as always, just refrain from answering, and they will, if it's not something that's in our highest and best, okay? Awesome. I better remind myself one more time how to pronounce that. See, I already have forgotten. I have dyslexia, you guys, so if you're wondering why I have a hard time with words, but I've already forgotten how to pronounce that. Hang on, let's just play it one more time. Let's see. I still probably will. I'll still have a hard time, probably.
Miccosukee.
Miccosukee. Miccosukee. Okay. I think it's just in one, but out of respect, I want to try to get it right here. Okay, Miccosukee. All right, let's just ask that question first. Okay, lead team. Did the government underestimate how strongly the Miccosukee would fight? Yes, they did. Good. I mean, good that they underestimated them, and I love that they stepped up and were like, no, because that's love. That's love for the environment. It's love for their sovereignty. It's amazing. Okay, was Alligator Alcatraz rushed into operation to bypass normal laws? Yes. Okay. Was the site chosen in the Everglades because it's remote and hidden? Yes. Yeah. So obvious, though. I mean, it caused so much attention to it, Okay, did contractors cut environmental corners to save money? Yes. Did leaders think the tribe had too little power to stop them? Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Yes. Did they underestimate how fragile the Everglade ecosystem is? Yes. Has there been damage to the Everglade ecosystem? Unfortunately, yes. Okay. Is that damage repairable? If they, once they dismantle, is it repairable? Yes. I'm just kind of curious. How long will it take that ecosystem to get back to what it was? Will it get back to what it was prior to them putting this Alcatraz there? Yes. How long will it take them? Will it take them more than 5 years to get back? No. Will it take them more than a year? Yes. The reason I wanted to ask that is because it took them a month to dismantle or start disrupting the ecosystem, and now look how long it takes to repair. It's so interesting to me. This is like the stock market too. How quickly things drop, and then the positive part takes longer to get built, How quickly you can dismantle something, boom, and then how long it takes to rebuild. It's incredible, It's interesting to me. And I wonder, okay, so cut, clear, cancel on that energy, because I feel like if we as humans can shift that energy where it takes a long time, and in certain circumstances, I guess in certain circumstances, we do want things broken down quickly, but sometimes we don't. But it just seems like things drop way quicker and then it takes way longer to build back up. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? That's just an awareness I just had. Okay, let's see. Was the facility built on land already known to be sacred? Well, that's great. Yes. I mean, anyways, it's just this lack of respect for other people, is my issue with the GOP. One of them, it's just it's the apparent lack of respect. Am I accurate in feeling that the GOP in general just lacks respect for anything outside of itself? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Are environmental risks bigger than what's being told to the public? Yes. Okay. So there is more going on with this ecosystem than we understand? Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Is the real danger less about detainees and more about the land itself? Oh, interesting. No. Okay. So the danger is more in how the detainees are being treated? Okay. Yes. But not with this lawsuit. The tribe's primary goal and concern was the land. Is that correct? Their sacred land? Yes, and that's fine because that's a way that love can win, Okay, are rumors true about toxic waste leaking into the water supply? Yes. Could the facility's lights and fences disrupt endangered species survival? Yes. Did the Miccosukee lawsuit reveal federal overreach beyond immigration? Yes. Will this ruling affect other emergency projects in the future? Oh, yes. Okay. So if that's true, now we can see sometimes you have to have a really hard, difficult situation like this one for love to win down the road. Okay, so this one is bringing things to light about how, especially like what they're using for emergencies, national emergencies, that kind of thing. Interesting. Okay, I love that. See, now, once we get over the hump of being traumatized by all their BS and all the stuff they're trying, it's going to be a really interesting process of watching, making the connections of things that happened and why they needed to happen spiritually once we see all the amazing things that are going to come out of it, because that's my belief. So I'm sticking to it. That's my optimistic belief that we're going to have amazing things come out of all this breakdown, okay, and all this BS. So it'll be fun. That is going to be the fun part because this has been the traumatizing part. This will be the fun part to watch and see the connections. This is one of them. If this is true, and the Elite Team Collective is saying it is, that this had to happen in order, maybe this had to happen in order for the environmental the national security, like how they can put things into place so quickly based on national security, how that needed to get rewritten quickly so that they can't do it for maybe much bigger things. You never know, Okay, so let's see. Is the appeal mostly a stall tactic until, oh, that's interesting. Is the appeal mostly a stall tactic until after the 2026 elections? No. Okay. So did this Alligator Alcatraz have anything to do, like their political moves on it one way or the other, have anything to do with the 2026 elections? No. Okay. Uh, are conditions inside Alligator Alcatraz worse than reported? Yes, those a-holes. Every once in a while, I just have to insert my ego there. Just can't help it. All right. Did detainees have almost no access to lawyers in the first weeks? I mean, it's so unconstitutional. I can't even. Yes. It's so unconstitutional. Yes. Okay. Is the Miccosukee tribe setting a precedence that other tribes will follow? Yes. Again, love wins. Love winning there. Yes. Showing how it's done, right? That's amazing. Giving courage, giving courage. Maybe more people will put money towards that, you know? That's odd. They're saying yes, yes, and yes. Will dismantling actually happen by the October 20th deadline? Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, we'll see if that changes. There's a wide swing on that. Okay. Well, let me just ask, because this is what I was going to ask about above. Was this more a play for contractors than, well, okay, was this more from the federal government standpoint? Was this a promise that the federal government put forth because of a promise they made for giving contractors finances? Yes. Or was their primary goal immigration? No. Oh my God, does this make you so... Again, we are in this see the truth phase about things. Now, I'm not saying this is entertainment. I cannot say 100% that the lead team is telling us exactly, they're telling us what we need to hear right now. So, but we are in this astrologically, this moment, this period of time where truth needs to come out. Okay. And it's just every time I hear stuff like that, it just makes me want to slap them. I just want to slap them. God, that should be a mug. I just want to slap them. Should we do a mug like that? I just want to slap them and then have a hand slap in Trump's face. Gosh. Okay. That's a lot. You tell when my ego pops out. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I don't know where I am now. Okay. Did I already go past? Okay. Is there a hidden financial backer pushing to keep it open? Yes. Of course there is. Of course there is. Cut, clear, cancel. We want to get rid of those people. Are private prisons companies deeply invested in this site? Yes. Will lawsuits over detainee treatment expose more corruption? Yes, great. So we then have to say love and light to the detainees who had to go through this experience so that it could be exposed, right? So as hard as it was for those people to go through that experience, their soul, as part of their soul contract, probably contracted to do that, and yours didn't, and that's okay. So more corruption could be exposed. Is that the case? Yes. Okay. Does this case show the limits of Trump's emergency powers? Yes. I mean, basically everything's an emergency now to him. Yeah, because he's getting close up. At least that's what everybody thinks, right? Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Will this weaken attempts to bypass environmental laws in the future? Yes. Great. Is this just one thing that was necessary to help start to heal Lady Gaia, Mother Gaia? Yes. Okay. Is this fight more about land sovereignty than immigration? Yes. Okay. All right. We have a couple more questions that are a little bit more on the spiritual. So we're going to go from all that factual stuff to a little bit of spiritual insight, okay? Did the spirits, I love this question, did the spirits of the Everglades help protect this land? Cool. Who did I hear the other day? Who was this? Talking about this ancestors. Oh, it was Tabitha Speaks Politics, which she doesn't really talk about spirituality much, but she had heard somebody saying that Trump's ancestors must be just haunting him. Oh, no, not Trump's ancestors, but ancestors of people he has harmed. And I thought that is interesting, that at night he just must be, even in his dreams, the ancestors could be. I don't know anything about that. Well, let's ask. I just thought it was interesting though. So I love the idea, like the spirits of the Everglades. I never thought of like the Everglades having spirits. Well, of course it does. Of course it does. So does Trump have ancestors of those he has harmed kind of pestering him at night, let's say? Yes, I shouldn't look gleeful. Cut, clear, cancel. I don't want that coming back to me. Okay, so that happens. That kind of stuff happens. Yes, okay, all right. Frankly, is Trump getting what he deserves? Yes. Does he know it though? Like from a human perspective, is he aware of it? No, but is that part of his, like, if he has anxiety or anything like that? Yes, okay, interesting. Okay, our tribe ancestors guiding the Miccosukee legal team? Nice. Yes. Is there sacred energy in the Everglades resisting imprisonment? Yes. Very cool. Will this case awaken more Americans to the spiritual side of the land? No. Right? Because that's not what we're talking. That's not what people are talking about. Well, it's awakening you and I a little bit more. So, yes. Okay. I love that because I want to get more into recognizing the spiritual aspects of the land everywhere, you know? Okay, I think that would be an interesting conversation. They're like, yes. Is this a sign of moving into 5D awareness of respecting sacred sites? Yes. Okay, just like I said, maybe we'll have to have a conversation about this. Okay, do Miccosukee victories reflect a larger spiritual shift in America? Yes. Okay. Among white people? The spiritual shift? Okay, yes. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, let me know what you thought about this topic. And if you have any other facts to add, any corrections that you think might need some, something you've heard, just be gentle about it. And I ask that people not necessarily leave comments as if your view is the only view on Earth. So we're just exploring. We're just exploring here. Okay. So yeah, so add to the conversation. It would be amazing. If you haven't subscribed and you do like this particular type of content, then that would be amazing if you joined us. So, all right, have a good one. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.